Hi guys, I'm Alysha and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a really exciting tutorial for you guys because this has been my most requested piece ever. I made this a little while back. I made one for me and my best friend, and it is a dress that went viral on TikTok. It's this Zara dress. It's really cool and it's pretty simple to make. I posted a really quick tutorial on my TikTok of just like how to do it, because there's only like 2 things that you need to know, like how to do the cups and then how to do the granny squares, and then just to put them together. So pretty simple, but I walk you guys through it nice and slow just so that you can get everything together. And because I was running out of yarn, I also made a version where it's just a top, and I'll show you that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for following me and supporting my channel. Like, I can't believe like the response that I've gotten so far.
Also, sorry I've been gone so long and I haven't posted in a really long time. I got a new job and it's killing me.
So without further ado, let's get into the video.
And I know you guys might be like, oh, I could just buy this for cheaper and not waste my time, but crochet has to be done by hand. It cannot be done on a machine, which is just crazy to me. So someone is being severely underpaid when you buy something from Zara to crochet this by hand. So just do it yourself. It's really, really simple, I promise. All right, so we're gonna start with the cup. I just did my color pattern based on a photo that I saw, but you can do whatever range of colors that you want. I wear a size 32 double D, so my cup might be bigger or smaller than yours. So if you really, really, really want to incorporate, say like this rust color, maybe you want to incorporate it earlier instead of like doubling up the white, but it's all up to you. So we're doing the basic cup tutorial that I almost always use. I have it on my page, but so for this I'm going to do chain 10. So I've got my slip knot on my hook, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to yarn over and not put my hook into the first chain, but into the second one. And yarn over, pull one through, yarn over, pull through all 3. We're doing half double crochets all the way down. Alright, so once I got to the end of my row, I'm going to chain 1, pull up a little bit, and we're going to snip it off because now we need to switch colors. So I'm just pulling my yarn through the loop and tying off. Now with my next color, I'm making a slip knot. And where I just tied off, I'm looking for my very first stitch to insert my hook. And I'm making a slip stitch, so I'm pulling it through and pulling it through the loop. Since this is a half double crochet, I'm now going to chain 2, 1, 2. And in that very same hole, we are going to put a half double crochet. And we are going to continue to half double crochet all the way up the side. So now that I've gotten to the last stitch, I'm going to insert 7 more stitches into that very same hole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we are going to continue doing half double crochets down the back side. And we're going to stop when we get to the end because we're going to need to switch colors again. So we're chaining one, pulling up a little bit, snipping off, tying off, and we're gonna grab our next color. I'm gonna be honest, I made this a little while back and I don't have all of the colors that I originally used, so I'm gonna do my best to show you everything that I did, but the colors might be a little bit different. Alright, so where I just tied off, I'm going into that first stitch there with the slip knot on my hook, and I'm going to make a slip stitch, chain 2, and in that very same hole that we just did our slip stitch into, we are going to make a half double crochet. And now we're going to continue down the row making our half double crochets. This is the row that we're going to repeat over and over again. So keep going normally until you get to the very top center of your little thing here. So this looks like it is the top center stitch for me, and in the top center I am going to insert 3 half double crochets into the very same hole. That was 1, this is 2, and this is 3. And now we are going to continue with normal half double crochets all the way down the back side. And again, we're at the end, so we're going to chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. I'll do one more row with you just so you can get the hang of your cups. So we grab another color, make a slip knot, insert our hook, and where we just tied off there, we're going to insert our hook into the very first stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 2, and put a half double crochet in that very same hole. Now continue normally with half double crochets. Okay, so now we're getting to the top, and see how we have our 3 stitches emanating from that one hole. So just 1 stitch in the first one, but then in the center one we are going to put 3 half double crochets all in the same hole. 2, 3, and then just continue with normal half double crochets as you go all the way down the back side. So just keep repeating this row over and over until you have a cup that is big enough for you. remember at the end we are chaining 1, pulling up, snip, and tie off just to change colors. Alright, so I'm going to do a bunch more rows and then I will meet you when I have a big enough cup. Alright, so now that you have the cup size that you want, we're going to add the strap. So we're going to start it off by doing exactly what we've been doing for the other rows, but at the top point we are going to add that strap to go around your neck. So just like normal, put a slip knot on my hook, slip stitch, chain 2, half double crochet in the same hole, and then half double crochet all the way up. For this, I just continued following the pattern that I was doing anyways, but if you want like an accent color, you want it to be white, do that. This is pretty flexible with all the colors because they all kind of go together. Okay, so you know how you have 3 stitches emanating from that one hole? You're going to put a double crochet in the first, or a half double crochet in the first and the second, and then chain 100. You might need more or less depending on, you know, the distance between like your neck and chest, but I'm just going to do a chain 100. So now that I have my chain 100, I'm just going to go back down that chain with a half double crochet, keeping it consistent with everything else that we're doing. So this is just like a regular row of half double crochet. I'm going to keep doing this, and then I will meet you when we get all the way back down and back to the cup. So I've gotten back to the start and just continuing as normal, I'm going into the next stitch with a half double crochet and continuing down the side. And then you've got your little strap. I'm going to finish down the side and then you can cut off your string, and then we'll move on to the granny squares. So now that we have our cups done, we're going to move on to making the granny squares. With the amount of colors that we have going on in this design, you can have just like a million different combinations and never have a repeating square. So I just try to grab them at random. So this is the granny square that we're making. It's very simple and it's not very holy, so you won't be too exposed. So we're going to start with our first color. Make a slip knot. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the first chain, you're going to insert your hook and make a slip stitch. So you have like this little circle. Then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this counts as a double crochet, chain 2. So now we are going to make 3 double crochets into the center of the circle here. So 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to chain 2 and that's going to be a corner. So you see how we have like a bunch of 3 stitches and then a hole, a bunch of 3 stitches, then a hole. So this is a bunch of 3 stitches and a hole, and then that chain 2 is also a hole. So now we're going to do 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3 more double crochets. And now we just need 1 more bunch, so we're going to chain 2. And now at the end here, we're just going to put 2 more double crochets because this counts as the 3rd one. So 1, 2, and then we're going to count up 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and insert our hook, make a slip stitch, chain 1, and snip off, and now we're going to change colors. Okay, so see how we've got our bunch, hole, bunch, hole, bunch, hole. So now we're going to grab our next color, make a slip knot, and now we are going to pick one of the holes. It doesn't matter which one, but you see our corner, we're going to put it into one of the corners. And we're going to make a slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that counts as 1 double crochet. So we're going to put another double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, this is our corner, and then 2 more double crochets in that hole. And now see how we have 3 stitches here, 1, 2, 3. We're going to put double crochets in each one of those holes. And now we're back at another corner, so we're going to put 2 double crochets in that corner hole. Chain 2, and 2 more double crochets in that corner hole. Here's a quick tip, since I have this like tail from my last color sticking out, I'm just kind of holding it behind my work so that I can slowly weave it in, so I don't need to worry about it at the end of my project. Because as you can see on this dress, I didn't do that, and I have all of these ends sticking out that I still need to cut. So we finished another corner, and now we've got 3 stitches again, so I'm going to just do regular double crochets into each of those stitches. And now we're back at a corner, so I'm going to make 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets in that same hole. And now we have another block of 3, so just our 3 regular double crochets, and another corner hole. So we are doing 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Now we have another block of 3, so just regular double crochets, and now we're back at the end. So now in the 3rd chain up, I'm going to insert my hook, make a slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, tie off, and that's 2 rounds. And now we're going to switch colors, And we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did for that last row. So we're going to insert into a corner hole, make a slip stitch, chain 3, put a double crochet in that same hole, chain 2, double crochet, and another double crochet. And that's our corner. And now we're just going to do regular double crochets all down the side until we get to the other corner. Alright, so we're at another corner hole. So we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and that's a corner. Now we're going to move on and just do the regular double crochets all down the side, and just keep repeating. So if you need to go back to watch this again, make sure to just skip back. So we're back at a corner, so we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and just regular double crochets along the side. And we're at another corner, so 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then regular double crochets as you go down the side. And now we're coming to the end of our 3rd row. So we're just going to continue and just repeat what we just did for the last row. Each of your squares should be 4 rows. And then just at the end here, we're going up to the 3rd chain, inserting our hook, making a slip stitch, chain 1, pull up, snip, and tie off. So I'm just going to finish up my rows. But for this dress, so I needed to make my dress 4 rows long and then 6 around. So when you make each one of your squares, to figure out how big that you're going to need it, measure out the widest part of your hips. So for me, it's 40 inches around like the biggest part of my butt, right at my hip bones, where your butt sticks out the most. And now with one of my squares, I'm going to lay down my measuring tape here. Don't know why it keeps curling up, but hold tightly with one hand at one end and line up your measuring tape with it, and then stretch out your square to see how big that is. So mine is around 6 inches when it's fully stretched out. And since I've already done this before, I know that I will need 6 around to fit me well and 4 tall to match the length of the skirt. Remember, your dress isn't like stretching vertically as much as it is horizontally, because there's nothing really to stretch it up and down. So take that into account when you're making it. I find that 4 squares is pretty good. But mind you, I'm also tall, but then you also don't want it like insanely short. Anywho. So for me, I made 24 squares, and then you are going to sew them all together. So it's like this big rectangle thing, and then fold it in half and sew up the back so that it makes like a tube for your body to go through, and that's like the basis of the skirt. So now with any color of your yarn, in this design I use like that rust color, but for this one I have so much extra orange yarn, I'm just going to use that. And now you're going to line up 2 pieces. So this is going to go underneath my bust. You're going to line up 2 pieces just like this, with the corners touching. And I'm going to make a slip knot. We're going to attach these pieces together. So I'm going to insert my hook in a corner hole, make a slip stitch, and chain 1. And now I'm going to insert in the front and in the back piece and make a single crochet all the way down the side. If you made all of your squares the same, you should have the same amount of stitches on each side, so it should line up nicely. Alright, and so then just for the last stitch at the end, I'm inserting into the corner hole in both the front and the back, making a single crochet, chain 1, pull up a little bit, and then we're going to snip it and tie off. So now from the front side, you've got this beautiful seam, and then on the back side you've got your single crochet. So I try my best to make sure that all of the seams are on the inside so that it looks nice from the outside. So we're just going to keep doing that. So I will just pretty much do it 1 square at a time. So I'll do 6 this way and then just keep adding them on underneath each square until I have 6 around and 4 down. So also I try not to make it so the outside ring is the same color as its neighbor. So I wouldn't want like an orange beside an orange. I'm going to put a white beside an orange. And so to make sure that that seam is on the inside, I'm going to kiss these together and it's going to fold out like that. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Make a slip knot. Insert into the corner, slip stitch, chain 1, and then just single crochet in the front and in the back to connect them together all the way down the row. So I'm going to keep doing this for all 6 of my squares, and then I will meet you when I have that done. So when you have like a long strip like of these 6 and you want to close it together, you could do this when you have your full length or at whatever point, as long as you have like your like the circumference of your body, then you can do this. I'm running out of yarn, so I'm just gonna make a little crop top out of this. But you could do this at the point when you have your full skirt. So once you have your skirt all together, we can attach our bra cups. So we still want the seams to be facing outward, so it's still going to be inside out. And then mark where you want your center to be. And then put one point of your bra cup in the center. The seams are going to kiss together, making sure that that seam will go on the inside of the garment and not the outside. And just as we attached all of the squares together, we're going to basically do the same thing with the cups. So marking that middle point, I'm inserting my hook in the squares as well as the bra cup. Taking my yarn, making a slip stitch, chain one, and then inserting my hook in both the square and the cup, and doing single crochets all the way down. You won't really have defined stitches on the cup, but I'm just inserting my hook where it feels secure. And just attaching that all the way down. So I've gotten to the end of my row, and I am just going to do a chain one, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. And now when we flip our work inside out, all of those seams are hidden. And we have what is going to be a beautiful top. I'm going to do the other side and then snip all of these extra pieces of yarn that are just hanging around. And then I'll show you what it looks like on. I'll show you both the dress and the top.
I feel like this would be kind of like a great game day top for like a sports team. I'm gonna put the logo here of what I'm thinking of because I feel like it's just hitting all of the right color profiles. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave me a comment and make sure to check out my Instagram and TikTok. All right, see ya, bye.